Hello, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of VetsPlusSports.com. This is your host, Terrell Cool Beans Davis, along with my co-host, Mr. James Miller.
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing this Saturday night? It's been a good day for Chiefs fans, but Lions ain't looking too good right now. But I hope y'all doing good this weekend. Got basketball to talk about, football. But before we get into this episode, I'll let Cool Beans do a shout out to our listeners.
Yes, we like to thank those that came out to watch the live today. Thank y'all for giving us your undivided attention. We also like to thank those that'll come back and watch the replay. Thank you for that. And for our radio show, we have been picking up some cities. We also got our cities constantly listening to us, like Boardman, Oregon, Ashburn, Virginia. It was Midlothian, Virginia. It was the one that was the new one that I said I was going to learn to do on the radio show. They started listening. We have Beckley, West Virginia, Grinzek-Weilen, Germany, Falkenstein, Germany. We had this other one from Germany. It's got some 2 dots on the O. I got to learn how to do that one. It's a weird one. We had some pretty good listeners. LA, California for listening to us. Thank you for listening. San Jose, California. Thank you for listening to us.
Yes, thank y'all for tuning in, listening to us. We'll just go ahead. I'll go ahead and do some scores with hockey. Last night, I did see for about a couple minutes a game when we was there working at work. It was on the TV, a hockey game. It was Edmonton and let me go back to it.
Them Oilers.
The Oilers. And the thing was, this computer here is going slow for some reason. Edmonton went up. No, I mean Oilers went up last night on the Oilers. I mean went up. Oilers went up on Edmonton 3-0.
Edmonton is the Oilers.
I mean, yeah, okay. I'm getting this all confused.
No problem.
And well, I can't find actually I'm telling you wrong. I think that may have been Thursday night. Let me back it up. Or Friday. Friday. I went back too far. I went, okay, here you go. Well, I can't find that game. Anyway, it was 3-0. Edmonton was down. It was Colorado. They was playing Colorado. That's who they was playing. I remember now.
Okay.
Colorado and Edmonton. And Colorado jumped out. The Avalanche jumped out 3-0 in the first period. And then in the second period, Edmonton tied it up 3-3. And right here's the final score. The Oilers, this was Thursday night. The Oilers end up winning that 4-3. And that game was back. That was Oilers came back to tie it up, and they end up winning it 4-3. You're thinking after the Avalanche jumped out to 3-0, I mean, they were just scoring at will pretty much.
Right.
And then they came back to win it. So, I don't get to watch a whole lot of hockey, but just see it a little bit right there while I was there at work.
But we shouldn't be surprised. That's what them Oilers do. They got there in them finals last year. We give y'all the first 3 games. They come back 3 games.
They like playing from behind. Here's some scores from last night. You had the Penguins beating the Sabres 5-2. The Hurricanes over the Golden Knights 3-2. That's from last night's scores. And then today, what we got going on, you got some games going on right now. Into the second period, you've got the Canadiens over the Maple Leafs 3-2. You got the Lightning over the Red Wings 5-1 right now. That's the start of the third period. The Rangers and the Blue Jackets are tied going with 12 minutes left in the third period, 0-0. The Capitals 2, Penguins 0 in the third period with 15 minutes left. You got the Flames over the Jets in the third period, 2-1. It's in the second period with 13 minutes left. The Islanders and the Sharks 0-0. Second period, Golden Knights and the Blackhawks. Chicago's up on them 3-1 with 18 minutes left in the second period. Into the first period, you got the Predators and the Wild, and the Predators are up 2-1. and some games that's getting ready to start here shortly. The Blues and the Utah Hockey Club, the Oilers, who we was just talking about, and the Canucks, the Kings, and the Kraken are playing. Let's go, Kraken. We got a new team. But and then some finals, the Flyers beat the Devils 3-1. The Senators over the Bruins 6-5. The Avalanche over the Stars 6-3. And the Panthers over the Ducks 3-0. That is a rundown of some scores here in the NHL. And any news here? I don't think so. Not much. Not much going on there as far as the headlines with hockey. Do you have anything else that you want to mention or anything?
Not in hockey. I don't have no hockey news.
All right. What about women's NBA?
Now, women's NBA, I have a little bit of news, but I haven't confirmed it yet. I know that the Indiana Fever has made Kelsey Mitchell an offer. Now, whether she accepted that offer, I haven't heard about it yet.
And
So I was gonna give that a couple of days, but I got to give the Fever some credit. They did good by her. They did at least make her offer.
well, Caitlin Clark was at the Chiefs game in the press box with Taylor Swift. She's a Chiefs fan. Where she grew up. I mean, that's the closest NFL team where Caitlin grew up. So it was the Chiefs. So she was there at the game. Anything else before I jump to the NBA and some scores here?
No. I'm still got my fingers crossed. I'm hoping on that Sabali trade. I'm hoping that they get the Fever were also trying to pull a player from the Connecticut Suns. Now that's where, remember, they got their coach Stephanie White. She was the head coach last year of the Connecticut Suns. And I want to say, I cannot remember. I know the first name is Brianna, but I'm thinking the last name was Jones. I can't remember. But they've also been trying to get her to come over and sign. So we got to see. I think I would rather have Sabali, though.
We'll see what happens. This is their off season and see if who goes where and what.
Right. I tell you what, they didn't learn from Jerry Jones. You don't do no movements during off season.
And there's some stuff if I don't forget when we get the NFL to talk about that once we get to talking about football. Because I forgot to mention it during the week. I had it all written down in my notes and I forgot to mention it during the audio. So, but all right, we'll go some scores here in the NBA. You got the Hawks and the Celtics playing right now with just lower 3 minutes. Celtics 98, Hawks 93. The Pacers right now over the 76ers 101-85 with 8 minutes left in the fourth. Into the first quarter, you got the Warriors and the Wizards. The Wizards are on top 29-25. Two games get ready to start. Cavaliers should be tipping it off. They're playing the Timberwolves in Minnesota. You got the Rockets and the Trailblazers at 10 o'clock. That's in Portland. Then only one final from the day. There weren't that many games today. You had the Suns and the Pistons. And the Suns beat the Pistons 125-121. And let's see. I'll get ready to hit some standings here. But I'm going to see if there's any headline news going on. Going on right now. Not much to talk about there, but let's go some standings. See where it looks like the Lions just scored. The Cavaliers are still leading in the East and in the NBA. They still 34-6. The Celtics are 29-12, and your Knicks keep slipping back. They're 27-16. They could be closing in, but
I know I just don't get it.
Then you got the Milwaukee Bucks They're at 23-17. Indiana Pacers 23-19. And at the number 6 spot is the Magic's at 23-20. Getting down here to the West, you got Thunder still lead at 34-7. And to me, I think that's kind of a surpriser. And we done talked about that. Them and the
Yeah.
Rockets at the top in the West. Houston's at second at 27-13, and then Memphis at 27-15. The teams that you were seeing towards the top last year, you got the Dallas. They're at number 7. I don't know if Luka's still out, and then you got Denver Nuggets at number 4. But right now,
Yeah, I don't know if Luca's still out. I know Kyrie Irving is out right now.
so
He had some bulging disc in his back, so I
that's a
don't know
sign.
how long.
That's a sign of old age.
Yeah.
Well, that's a rundown there of with some of the standings.
Oh, what you call it? The only thing I was gonna look at because I had it come up on my feed on my phone, so I went to look to see what it was talking about because there was an announcement about Joel Embiid. I thought it was like the team was trading him or something or cutting him, but no, it's just they said he's gonna be out for longer than what he's already missed the last 6 games, but now he's not gonna make that road trip because he still has swelling in his knee. They talk about something. He's going to be evaluated again in 7 to 10 days. So Joel Embiid still missing some games. And it was a point in time. There was a game that came on. I think it came on TNT or it might have been on ESPN. One of those games where they had George Paul because they made all that. They got him through free agency. They had him. He was out. Joel Embiid was out. And Tyree Maxey was out. And they had pretty much a squad of nobodies. That squad, no, they played their tail off. I forgot who they was playing, but it was like a period they could not handle that squad. It was like, I was like, why don't y'all leave with this? I'm like, y'all are spending this extra money, and you got these guys right here. You just gave these guys a shot, and they are tearing up the other team. I forgot who they were playing though.
Yeah, that's where you get those that they're trying to make their way and make a roster or whatever. They're gonna do their best to play to show themselves.
Yep.
Anything else there in the NBA?
Nah.
Hopefully your Knicks. Excuse me. Hopefully your Knicks will start winning.
Yeah, they're having big man problems right now. Carl Anthony Towns is out with a sprained thumb, which Mitchell Robinson, who's actually the true center that's supposed to start because Carl Anthony Towns is supposed to be at the power forward, but he's playing in the center spot. But Mitchell, he was already hurt and he ain't came back yet. So they're lacking a big man. So
all right, we'll get getting some college basketball since we're on basketball. And before I run down the scores, I'm just going to go ahead and mention this. And I don't know if you've seen the score, and I didn't tell you. I got some college basketball I want to mention. You see behind me, I got my West Virginia stuff up.
Yep.
West Virginia knocked off the number 2 team in the country, Iowa State, in Morgantown, 64-57. And here's my thing: when is West Virginia going to get some respect? That's 3 teams in the top 10 they've done knocked off this year, and they're still not ranked. They was ranked for 1 week. They lose to Arizona, who they beat earlier in the season. Then they knock them out of the top 25. And now you just knocked off the number 2 Iowa. That's only given them their second loss in the country. And, I mean, come on now.
I know. Give West Virginia their respect. Put that number back up there.
I mean, at least in the teens somewhere, 18, 19 or something. I mean, my goodness. How many teams have done that this year? I ain't seen it. How many college teams have knocked off three top 10 teams? I mean, this is the coach's first year at WVU, and they are 13-4, a team that only won 7 games last year. They got players hurt. One of their best players out. I think that's the coach's boy. I think he's going to go ahead and do a medical red shirt so he can come back next year. So they're playing with limited to 7 8 players pretty much because of injuries and stuff, and they're still winning. Yeah, they didn't look
Yeah.
good against Houston the other night, but they were Wednesday night, but they were close with Houston. But I mean, that was traveling out to Midwest. But now, I mean, they got to start showing, give them some a little bit of respect. I mean, my goodness,
Exactly. I
I
don't.
don't get it. But here we go. We'll run down some scores right now. It's going on. Getting ready to start of the second period, second half there in it's at Boston College and Duke. Number 3 Duke and Boston College. Duke is up 46-36. Almost the end of the first half. LSU and Texas A&M. Texas A&M's up 30-29. Number 16 Gonzaga and Santa Clara. Gonzaga's up 20-16. Number 5 Florida over Texas, 84-60. That's a final. I done mentioned West Virginia over number 2 Iowa State, 64-57. Number 1 Auburn over Georgia, 70-68. That was a good game. Listen to this. All right, you talking about a game. Number 4 Alabama and number 8 Kentucky. Alabama won 102-97. Number 6 number 6 Tennessee was upset by Vanderbilt 76-75. Xavier
Oh.
upset number 7 Marquette 59-57. Kansas beat Kansas State 84-74. Houston beat UCF 69-68. Purdue, and see right there's a Big 12. Let me back up to that game, Houston and UCF. That's a Big 12 matchup. Like I said before, Big 12 is more of a basketball conference known for than anything else. So you got to bring your A game every night, and that right there showed Houston barely pulled one off, 69-68. 17 Purdue and 13 Oregon. Purdue beat Oregon 65-58. Creighton over number 14 UConn, another upset, 68-63. Wisconsin beat USC 84-69. And then Mississippi State beat Ole Miss 84-81. That is the scores for today. And this just happened. I don't think I've checked these. Let's go to the standings right here in basketball. Let's go to the Big 12 here. See where the Mountaineers rank as far as the standings. All right, here we are in the Big 12. West Virginia is 4th in the Big 12 with a Big 12 record of 4-2. You got Houston 6-0. Iowa State's 5-1 now with that loss today. Arizona Wildcats are 5-1. But here's the thing. You remember West Virginia beat them earlier in the season, but that wasn't Big 12 play. That was in a tournament. So that don't count as a considered conference loss, I don't think, as Big 12 because they're not in Big 12 play. So
Right.
Arizona's 5-1, and then West Virginia, Kansas, and Texas Tech are 4-2 in the conference. So that's a rundown right there. Let me hit some of the a couple other conferences. Here's the ACC, known for the Blue Bloods. And you got a blue blood leading the ACC. The number 3 Dukes, they're 7-0. You got Louisville at 7-1, and then Clemson at 7-1. Wake Forest is 4th at 6-1. And then coming 5th is Tar Heels at 5-2 in the ACC play. And let's see here. Let's get to the Big Ten. Run to the Big Ten here and see what it says. Big Sky, Big South. All right, Big Ten right here. You've got Michigan State leading it at 6-0. Purdue is at 7-1. Michigan Wolverines come in 3rd at 5-1, and then Illinois 5-2, and then Wisconsin Badgers at 5-2. And they've got Big Ten has got 5 teams ranked. Actually, I'm telling you wrong. 6 teams ranked, counting the Ducks. Um, so
Okay.
I'm trying to see what what their overall record is here. There it is, right there. The Ducks are 15-3, and they're ranked 13th in the country. West Virginia's 13-4, and they're not even ranked. Go figure. Go
Yeah, that
figure.
don't make sense.
Um, but that's all right. When it comes big dance time, that's all what matters.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Anything else you want to mention in basketball?
Nah, I got nothing.
All right, we got a big game coming up Monday night.
Sure do. I'm waiting.
And, okay, Ohio State and Notre Dame. Okay, majority of people here in West Virginia hate the Buckeyes.
Yep.
But, I've got family from Cleveland. And there's a guy I served with. He was overseas. He passed away last year.
Oh.
He's from Ohio. He was a Buckeye fan. And he said, I don't get it because he said, us Buckeye fans pulls for the Mountaineers. He said, why don't the Mountaineers pull for the Buckeyes? And I'm like, I can see that, because we're neighboring states, but I'm pulling for the Buckeyes to beat Notre Dame. And I can't remember, what did I say? It was probably at least be the spread 17. I think 17.
Yeah.
I'm still sticking with that 17. And it could probably be.
That really made me feel so like he's talking about something Buckeye fans with root for West Virginia. I say, what,
Yeah,
really?
well, and they do. I can't say my uncle and them and on my whole mom's side of the family's from Cleveland, and they do pull for West Virginia. Um, so I kind of agree with him. My buddy I served with, that's not no longer with us. So I'm gonna pull for him, and
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna pull for the Buckeyes to knock off Notre Dame. So we'll see what happens with that.
I'm going for the Buckeyes, but in spirit, I'm really with the Fighting Irish. I just don't think they can pull it off. I would like to see them do it, but I just don't think they can pull it off. Golf just threw a pick six.
Did
Oh
he?
my goodness. Yep. Like I said, I'm gonna hate this game because I think the Commanders might win. And the bad part is that messes up everything because we
Well,
ain't talking about this just yet. We'll talk
well,
about
well.
it
We
a
can
little
pretty
bit.
much. I mean, we're pretty much. Well, I'll mention a little bit of this, and then we'll get on to what we're with the big games that's going on today, tomorrow, and everything. We'll talk about a little bit about recruiting. Um, West Virginia, they said, I mean, they've got guys coming in, big recruits. Um, Rich Rodriguez brought in another defensive end edge rusher, transferred. So they are loading up on the defense. Now, I'll mention this again. The last time when he was there, when he left, and everybody got bitter with him, which I did at the time, but then I found out the whole story. What happened? There's always
Mm-hmm.
two sides to every story. That year they should have went to the national title, but Pitt knocked them out. That defense was ranked like number 5 in the country. The offense was like number 10 or something like that, and number 10 in the country. So if he can get that defense in a ranking up in the top 10, they'll be able to compete with anybody. Because I'm telling you, defense wins championships. Defense wins championships. If you can
Yep.
have a good defense to stop a team like Ohio State Buckeyes offense, that's what's going to win the championship. So he's bringing people in. They have loaded up on the defensive side. They have brought in 2 guys up front. They've brought in a linebacker, now an edge rusher. They've brought in cornerbacks, defensive backs, free
Free
safety. I
safety.
mean, they are loaded up on the defensive side. Now, the thing is, once next year, we'll see if they can perform. So we'll have to see
Yeah.
that. But what I was going to mention with the Mountaineers and their recruiting and Rich Rod, I'm excited next year to see what he can do. I'm saying 7 to 8 wins in his first year back. That's just 7 to 8. So we'll see what happens. And by year 3, year 4, he's going to win the Big 12. So, all right, let's move over to the big weekend with the NFL. So the Chiefs
Yeah.
had pulled one off earlier. And like
Yep. They had me worried at first. I thought that it was what you call it. They was gonna lose that. I was just like, because it was just like when they first started, it was like that offense wasn't doing that, and they wasn't gelling. And yeah, what's the name? Looked like Jared Goff looked like he got
he's
knocked out
out.
the game.
Yeah.
He might be the
The
Lions might
Lions,
be
if he
done.
don't come back in, I got the game on behind me. If he don't come back in, they are done.
That's what I'm saying. They might be done. And it messed me up because, like I said, usually it's always just one away team that'll win the weekend and the
You
rest
know,
be home teams. I need the away team to win is the Rams because somebody got to take
well,
them
I'm getting
dirty
ready to tell
birds out of
you,
there.
there's a possibility there could be a repeat in the Super Bowl again. The Dirty Birds and the Chiefs.
Yeah, it could be that
I ain't
that
gonna.
that. Which I'll be okay if it got the same
Yeah,
results.
that's right.
Dirty
That's
birds
right.
lose.
Repeat. Um. Oh man, this ain't. I'm gonna tell you right now. The Lions, they're going to have to rely on their run game right now if they're going to win this. I mean, with Goff being out,
Yeah,
I don't even know who that backup quarterback is. Do you?
I don't either. But if they just go with that in the beginning, if they just keep running, because Washington ain't been able to stop that run. I think he had like 100 rushing yards the first half.
um, let's see.
It's still the first
Yeah,
half.
it's second quarter with 4 minutes left. Um, if they can stick to that run game, that'd probably be their best bet. But the Chiefs won earlier today, 23-14. Let me ask you this: did you watch that Chiefs game there at the end?
Yes, they
All
did.
right. What was the purpose of running that ball out of the end zone, punting it? I try. I tried to work
I
this
understand.
scenario out a few times, okay? Because there was only 16 seconds left when he was going to punt the ball.
Uh huh.
The,
See, the thing is, they
yeah,
was up by 11. I would have just took the risk. They didn't want to take the
be
risk
returned
of the punt
getting
getting
returned.
blocked, and then they
Yeah,
return it for a touchdown. But you're still up 2
they would
scores.
still
You're up
have to
by
get.
11.
They
I'd
still would
have
have had to
took the
got the
risk.
onside kick, okay,
Uh huh.
and then you still got to get a field goal to at least tie. That's if you get the 2-point conversion.
Yep.
But I was wondering about that. Um, But and as of late, man, the Chiefs have been on the special teams end have been excellent on blocking field goals this year. Um, I don't know how many they've blocked this year. They've blocked 4 or 5 at least. Um,
Right.
but
Yeah.
and there's a few things I'm going to mention. Like I told you before we got on air. Um, now you hear about it. Oh well, the Lions just scored. So um,
Yep. I
was
just
it a
was just
rushing
looking at
touchdown?
that. Looked like it was a pass.
Oh, it was a reverse. A
Oh, okay.
reverse.
That's what
Okay.
it was.
Well, like you being a Cowboys fan, you get it all the time because y'all just stink it up. And me being a Chiefs fan, I get it all the time that the Chiefs cheat. And all right, I was going to mention this, and I mean, as a football fan, I mean, you've talked about this. We talked about this when we started this podcast. Yeah, I mean, the quarterbacks get favored. I mean, when it comes to this game, um, the thing is, the start in the first quarter, you had that, and the bad thing, the announcers don't help anything either. when they're talking and everything. They threw the personal foul
Yep.
on roughing the passer. What people don't realize, if you ain't officiated a game or anything, don't matter if it's baseball, football, or whatever, basketball, when everything's going real time, and it looks like when you keep at real time, you got a split second, and at real time it looked like on that personal foul, it was helmet to helmet in the first quarter. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
everybody else at all these couch potatoes that keep crying, you get to see it in replay and it's slowed down. So when you see it at you're seeing it at normal speed. You got a split second to make a decision to make that call or whatever. And then the one we was talking about later on in the second half, I think it was, or maybe the second quarter, I can't remember. When third
I think it
quarter,
was third quarter when
when
that happened.
Mahomes went to slide, okay, announcers didn't help that at all. But here's the thing, too. Even not if they hit Mahomes or not helmet to helmet, those two defenders for the Texans was leading with their helmets, the crown of their helmets, which is a penalty.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
those that are crying about that call, either way, they're leading with the crown of your helmet, which is illegal anyway.
Right. This is just the one, like, go back to the one on the first quarter. The rules say it doesn't matter if it's intentional or, unintentional. If it happens, it happens. Helmet to helmet, if any part of your helmet hits the quarterback. In fact, it's a penalty regardless. If I take him and I tackle and I hit him with my elbow to the helmet, you cannot hit a quarterback in the helmet,
No.
period, whether
And
it's intentional or not. And when they
these
showed it,
defenders, when the quarterback's in the pocket and he's getting rid of the ball, do not touch him. How simple is it? This ain't rocket scientist. Tom Brady started this years ago. They can give Mahomes down the road, but Tom Brady is the one that started this. Okay. So this is league wide now. No, Mahomes don't get favored over any other quarterback. Josh Allen gets the same treatment, and everybody else. Yep,
Lamar Jackson
everybody.
gets the
You
same
touch
treatment.
that quarterback on the head, you're going to get a penalty thrown. It's that plain and simple. So don't.
And I think half the time Lamar is due to
Yeah,
hit
yeah.
anyway. He needs it anyway.
um. So I mean, people. It's just a cry, 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 cry. I mean, but we got this game going on right now. You got the Commanders. They got the ball with 2 minutes left. It's a 2-minute warning, and they are moving the
Yep.
ball again. They're probably going to score before halftime.
I know. This already looked like a high scoring game. Like, I did not expect that
Me
score to be this
either.
high.
But if Jared
24-21 right there, that right there could have been the end of the
if
game
Jared
score.
Goff can't come back, it may be over for the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you real fast. Let me go to since I got this up right here, I'll go to the box scores and I'll tell you who that backup quarterback is right now. Oh, it's Teddy Bridgewater. Oh, they're fine. They're fine.
That's
They're
right.
okay.
That's right. Bridgewater came out
They're
of
okay.
retirement. I
Teddy
remember that.
Bridgewater can lead that offense, so they'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's had some playoff experience, I think, as well. So he can,
Oh yeah,
yeah, he
with the
can move. He can
Vikings.
move that offense. They'll be all right. Actually, you get a little more out of him as far as running the ball if he needs to take off. So
Yeah.
they should be okay as that's starting and everything else. So let's see. And tomorrow, okay, the two big games. Well, I'm going to say the biggest game is tomorrow afternoon. The Bills and the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that game. I think to me, I don't know if there's any snow up in Buffalo right now. I'm assuming there is. Um, but I think that's going to be a low scoring game. I don't think that game will get out of the 20s. I could be wrong. but I don't see that game being real high scoring like this game here. I can see the score of this
Yeah.
game being the and that end of that game next tomorrow evening.
I tell you what, if anything, Buffalo better hope it's not a high scoring game like that. Buffalo, Buffalo, the only thing that's questionable about me with Buffalo is that defense. And this goes back to like when we first started doing this show. First thing I told you, I said the thing about Buffalo. Remember, we thought Buffalo was going to finish probably last in that division because what was suspect about Buffalo is that's a whole new secondary. They traded off, they got rid of the entire
And
secondary and
got
got
rid of
all new
Diggs
people.
and
Yep. They also got rid of Diggs and
didn't
gave
bring no other
Davis.
receivers. They're winning with the
Yep.
receivers that they had. They brought Curtis Samuel over,
Yeah,
but
brought
he
up
ain't done. He
Curtis
ain't really
Samuel.
done nothing. They brought Amari Cooper over, so he.
Yeah.
Yep,
They
him.
traded mid-season for him, and it's like that first week when he got him, you heard it was like, oh yeah, Amari Cooper, and then all
I
of a sudden
thought
he
he
just
would have been your
faded.
number one receiver once he went there, and then
He
there
might
ain't
be
nothing.
hurt. I don't know.
So the last few weeks there, it ain't. I mean, it. I don't know. I thought he'd have been a big more key to that offense, but he hasn't been.
Right,
So
exactly.
to me, I think the Ravens got the edge going into this. I think you're going to see the Ravens pull this off. Their run game. And I'm going to tell you this. I don't know whoever wins that game, the Bills or the Ravens, next week in the AFC Championship. I hope my Chiefs can pull it off an Arrowhead, but I don't know if they'll be able to.
Right. The way after we talk about it tonight, I think your Chiefs are going to be facing Lamar.
Yeah.
I think Lamar will put Josh Allen out tomorrow.
And the thing is, the Ravens, they got a killer run game. When you got that duo threat with Henry and Lamar, but Spagnolia for the Chiefs, the defense, he can coach.
Yeah.
He dialed up the blitzes. What they have 6-8 sacks, something like that. 8 sacks.
8 sacks. That was like I was like, man,
So
8 sacks.
We'll see what happens. Whoever wins that game tomorrow, but I think the Chiefs could have their hands full next weekend. And then you got the Rams and the Eagles. And to me, like we said, we talked out of all the road teams, we was thinking that would be maybe the road team to upset somebody.
Yep.
Here's a question for you. Okay, at the beginning of the season, I had I can't think of their coach's name. The Eagles' is coach. Serini.
Oh,
I
Nick
had him on the
Serini.
hot seat. If he gets upset here, is he going to be in the hot seat, you think? Or is he still good?
It's a topsy-turvy league. The way they're keeping Brian Dable, what's his name, will be fired. And it's sad because Nick Serini, I think he's been there 4 years. All 4 of those years that he's been there, they've been in the playoffs. He's taken them to the Super Bowl one of those years. They didn't win, but they still, even though they didn't win, he's still a Super Bowl coach because you got some coaches that won't even get your team to the playoffs. He got them at least to the Super Bowl. So yeah, I see because they was mad at him because when he got in an argument with the fan, over something. It was something stupid and why he was arguing with the fan, and I don't know. Yeah, it's unbecoming of a coach. Yeah, he should have just but they were serious. They was. I remember they was talking about. Well, it was the media actually that was, I guess, hyping it up. It was the media that was talking about he's gonna be fired and all this other. They were hyping it up about him getting fired mid-season, about him arguing with the damn fan.
Commanders just scored again, by the way.
I figured they would. I seen when they was up there to the 2-yard line, but I didn't know if they was gonna get that field goal or a touchdown.
We'll see if the Lions, they got a minute, almost 2 minutes left. Jared Goff's back in. So
okay.
So well, let's see if they can march down the field. They just got a big first down now, moving the ball, the 41. So
if they keep running Gibbs is killing them.
They're passing the ball, right now. So there's another. They're moving the ball. They're going to score, whether it be a field goal or touchdown before halftime. But, to me, the Chiefs' defense, for the most part, I mean, they gave up a lot of rushing yards that first half. But, I mean, they played pretty good. As far as they getting pressure and everything dialed up. And then you get Reed, who came back, the defensive back, and he got hurt, but I think he's still ended up playing.
Oh, yeah.
Watson, I think. Was it Watson?
Well, Watson and
Watson
Reed
just
hit
came
each
back,
other.
Or was it Reed came back off the IR?
Reed was the one. Watson is the one that came off of IR, but Watson is the one that got up, and Reed was the one that spent
that ball
more time
was picked,
on the ground.
But both of them went at it. Hey, that was interception. Yeah. And here's my thing. It's just, as a Chiefs fan, you see them getting in the red zone and having to kick field goals. You're like, man, you got to start punching that ball in the end zone.
Right. Here's the thing. I remember this from when I used to play high school football. And it was like, and it's also like baseball, they also do it. It's just like, but it's harder to talk when you got that mouthpiece in there, harder to understand what you're saying. Because remember, when you're going for the ball, you're supposed to say, I got it. To let everybody else. They obviously wasn't saying I got it.
Here's my
they
thing.
Hit each other.
I wonder if you can actually hear it, though, in a stadium that loud. I wonder how much, we've never been there on the field during an NFL game as far as the noise standpoint. I don't know how much can you hear the communication back and forth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that's what, like you said, when we played years ago, I mean, you'd be like, I got this, or whatever. But with a noise standpoint, I don't know if maybe they was or what, and I don't know. So,
yeah.
But I got a minute and 1 second left. As long as Bonehead Campbell don't do something stupid.
That's the thing about this game, because you can never tell. Because you got Bonehead Campbell and Dan Quinn been doing some bonehead stuff too.
So we'll see what happens here. It's 3rd and 3. They got the ball at the 47-yard line. First down, they just handed it to Gibbs. Like you said, you just keep feeding Gibbs, feeding him.
Yeah. I can't wait to see the halftime stats. I know he's got 100-something yards.
I can tell you right now. He's got 96 yards right now and 1 touchdown on 9 carries. 10 yards per carry.
Yep, and he just carried it right now. So he got about 10 yards right there.
So, he's got 9 carries for 96 yards and a touchdown.
Yep.
Jalen Daniels is 14 of 21 for 242 yards and 2 touchdowns. And they just mentioned it showed it. This is the highest scoring first half of any postseason game ever.
Right. I can believe it. And you know the thing about Jaden, he's just a rookie. This is his rookie. Oh, when he gets some time under his belt, he is going to be killing.
And I like him. I like watching him. Even though I'm a Chiefs fan, I'm a fan of the game. I like watching these teams. I like Josh Allen. I like Jaden Daniels there. He's a good quarterback. I'm not a big fan of Lamar Jackson. I'm not. I'm just gonna have to say it. And I'm not a big fan of him. Um,
Right. But here's the thing. You would think I would hate the Commanders. Being a cowboy, a
and that's a
diehard
rival game. And
Cowboy
that's a
fan, you
rival
think I would
rival
hate
game
the
for y'all.
Commanders. And it is. But the one I hate the
It's the
most in the
Eagles.
East is the Eagles. I don't know why. It's just I hate the Eagles more than anybody.
So, all right. Anything else you want to mention with it? With
Nah, I got
it's the NFL.
nah, I got go Rams.
Go Rams.
That's about it. Go
Mr. Keller ain't
Rams.
gonna like that. We need to get him on here one day.
I know we do need to get him. In between commercial time, call him Hollywood Killer. He's making them commercials.
He's on every commercial. He was on another one for Christmas.
Oh yeah, I see that one.
Yeah,
That was like it was good.
So, but we'll see. Like I said, next weekend you got the AFC Championship. I'm wanting to go to Arrowhead for that. I don't know. I don't know if my wife will let me. That's the next thing on my bucket list. So,
right.
I don't know if she'll let me. Picked off in the end zone. Yep, that's it for the halftime. Jared Goff just threw an interception in the end zone.
And that's his second turn. Wait, no, that's his third turnover.
And then
He has that fumble. He had a pick six, and he got that one that just
here's my
one in the
thing.
end zone.
Well, he's got two interceptions, and did he have a fumble?
Yeah,
That's
he
right. He
had
had a fumble. Who would have thought this if the Commanders pull this off? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and did you see? I meant to mention this. Did you see? Before the game started, did you watch any of pregame?
I didn't watch any pregame.
They had like the Lions. They talking the Lions up. Lions are probably going to the Super Bowl. They had the Lions fans like talking to a psychiatrist because this is something out of the norm for them having a winning team. And they said just picture going to the Super Bowl and winning it, and then how's it feel and everything else. I'm like, dude, ain't y'all kind of jinxing yourself a little bit? I mean,
I know.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I mean, you see it all the time. Every year, you see players start talking trash from other teams, and
But I tell you what, they're getting back to normal right now. It looks like regular old Detroit.
I'm going to have to get up there and when we get off here and watch this before I have to go in tonight. But yeah, it's not looking too good for the Lions right now. And who would have thought?
Right? Yeah.
Who would have thought they would be getting ready to get beat?
Right. Oh, I just thought of something. You know why he could have just threw that end zone pick? Did they? I wonder how well of an evaluation they did him for a concussion. He might, because you know how they do sometimes. They just want to get back out there, and like, yeah, he wants to play.
Well,
yeah, let him play.
He completed 2 or 3 passes before that. That were pretty good. He threw one to Gibbs, went down the field, and then he threw another. So who knows? Maybe I think he didn't see the corner undercut the route in the end zone.
Yeah,
so
he did.
If he'd have put a little more air on it, maybe a little off, maybe it wouldn't have got picked. He just undercut it, and it was really underthrown. What I think what I seen of.
Got a hair
So
underthrown, yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be an interesting second half. So we'll see
It
what
is.
happens and everything else. But you got anything else to say? It the NFL. Anything we? Oh yes. I
Nah.
about forgot again. About forgot it
Oh
again.
yeah. You said
Okay.
I know. I forgot to
All right.
remind
During the
you.
week, I had it all written down, talking about head coaches and everything, which I don't have it written down here. You had 6 teams, wasn't it? 6 teams that was needing coaches, or 7?
I thought it was 7. It
Yeah,
might be
because the Bears
6. It
still
might
ain't
be
got a
6.
coach. All right, I'm gonna clear something up. Okay, everybody. I mean, you talked about this with your Cowboys. Hey, everybody's seeing. Oh, Deion Sanders is interviewing. He's interviewing for the job for Dallas and everything else, and blah blah blah. Deion already said in several interviews, he is not going anywhere, and he would not fit with Jerry Jones. And me and you talked about this. Jerry Jones wants a puppet on a
Mm-hmm.
string who he can control. Deion is not that type of
Mm-hmm.
coach. Belichick is not that type of coach. That's the reason Belichick didn't even entertain that at all. Okay. Deion's not going to Dallas to coach. And you mentioned something to me that I did not know about with the hiring of the process of coaches. If, if
Oh yeah, the Rooney
anybody,
Rule.
any franchise does not interview a minority, they get fined $100,000. Okay.
Yep.
Deion already said he's not coming. So instead of Jerry Jones getting fined $100,000, well, I interviewed Deion Sanders.
Yeah,
Okay. And
exactly.
you could tell where he's going. He's wanting more. He's wanting killing more. So, I mean, Deion's not going to be in Dallas. He's going to stay in Colorado. I mean, really, it wouldn't be a smart idea to jump to the NFL. He's got it made now. He's he's done turned
Yeah, he
a
does.
college football team around. His coaching staff with Ed Reed and Warren Sapp and all of them he had helping out. Why would he come to the NFL? He may have 3 or 4 good years and then he gets fired. Or he can pull a Nick Saban
True.
and stay at Colorado until whenever he wants to retire. So
Yep.
um
Or he could pull an Antonio Pierce, go in the NFL, and get fired after 1 year.
Jerry Jones don't do that.
Nah, Jerry Jones wouldn't have fired
No,
not
he
after
gives you
one
5 or 6 years. And he don't let the teams talk to you, and
year.
then he don't renew your contract.
Right. You know who I think you think is Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is a good choice, but I'm thinking more on it. He wants Jason
Yeah,
Witten.
well, both of them would be puppets on a string.
Yeah, because both of them remind me of
Yeah.
Jason Garrett. Now, the bad thing about Jason Garrett, and Jason Garrett will never get any credit for it, Jason Garrett was coach there 10 years. In the 10 years he coached, he never had a losing season. Never under 10 years. His worst season was his last season when they let him go. And guess what he was? He was 8-8. That's his worst season, 8-8. That a lot of people would take that. I don't get why Jason Garrett got all the flack that he
Me
got.
either. But we'll see who he gets. And I will say this: it's not going to be Deion Sanders. So everybody, oh yeah, I had people sending me messages. Look, as Deion Sanders, I'm like, he's not going nowhere. He's not going nowhere. He's going. I mean, Jerry Jones can't give up. He's too nosy to keep his nose and everything. He's too controlling. So
Yeah, with that
yeah,
GM talk about some. When I bought this team, I was buying me a job. I didn't buy it for my kids and what you call it. I'm like, but you
that's
suck
it.
at what you do.
And the last time they won the Super Bowl, a guy we work with at the Dallas fan on day shift, Steve, he said it made me mad when he grabbed that trophy from Barry Switzer, grabbed it, holding it up like he done something. He said, I didn't like the guy ever since then. But we'll see what happens. We'll see who he gets, but he better start making some moves in the offseason. So,
Yep.
but yeah, I just wanted to mention that because you got the Raiders needing a coach. You've got the Jets needing a coach. Man, I forgot who some of the others.
Jacksonville
Jacksonville,
needed a
Peterson,
coach.
well, yeah, he got fired.
Yeah, but
Who?
guess who they interviewed? Robert Salam, the guy that
Jets.
was the coach for the Jets. They
What in
interviewed
the
him.
world? Well, we'll see what happens.
I know.
Now, I did see a thing where Chicago Bears were talking to McCarthy.
Yeah. I honestly think the Bears
Yeah.
want to go with McCarthy just because where he used to be in that division.
My thing is, what's shocking to me was the Raiders getting rid of Pierce after his first year. I mean, because
yeah, that was.
I don't care who you have. You had no players there in Oakland. I mean, I keep saying Oakland in Las Vegas, the Raiders.
Exactly. You could have had Belichick could have been the coach there. It wouldn't have had no different result.
Yep.
You could have had Nick Saban. You could have had Pete Carroll. You could have had, I don't care. You could dig up the best coach ever. Don Shula. He's got the most wins in the NFL.
Yeah,
he
no
could have coached that
quarterback,
team.
no quarterback, no running back. You got some mediocre receivers. You had Myers, and then you had Tucker was another guy. I mean, and you the tight end. Your tight end was your best receiver, Bowers. Yeah,
and he was a rookie. This was his rookie year.
I don't know what they expected out of him. I mean, really. So, but we'll see what happens.
But he made the Pro Bowl off of it. They got him to the Pro Bowl.
But we're getting close to this hour. We'll go ahead and wrap this up like we always do. If anybody out there is thinking about harming or hurting themselves, you can dial that quick number 988. That's the Veterans Crisis Line. It's 1-800-273-8255. Give that a call. When you dial at 988, dial 1, get you in contact to the people you need to, or go to your local medical center, VA medical center. Go to the ER. Tell them you need to talk to somebody. They'll have somebody on staff. They'll get you in contact with the resource you need. So don't be afraid to make that step, make that call. But you got anything else, Beans? Well, y'all have a good night. You stay safe, stay warm, watch some football, and go Chiefs. All right, y'all have a good night.